So beautiful.
Stellaris is finally giving us customizable starbases. They're not the starbases you wanted, but they might just be the starbases you deserve. Today we're going to be looking at the Deep Space Citadel and then the brand new origin Starlit Citadel. Without any further ado, let's dive in. The Deep Space Citadel is the latest megastructure coming to Stellaris. This is a 3-stage mid-game megastructure that is a powerful defensive bastion and converts into a starbase upon completion, much like an orbital ring. That doesn't mean it becomes the starbase in the center of your system, but it acts like a starbase. Unlike orbital rings, deep space citadels can be placed far more freely within a system, provided they aren't too close to a gravity well or each other. Yes, that does mean we can put multiple deep space citadels in the same system. If you've been playing Stellaris since 1.0, or I believe we still had these in I want to say 2.2 was the last time we got rid of the deep space station structures, you'll remember the flowery defensive arrangements you would end up placing in your systems to have great strong defenses. There were also FTL grabbers, all sorts of fun things that we might be seeing again. The Deep Space Citadel technology is a Tier 3 military theory technology, that means it's in the Society branch, which unlocks all 3 stages of the megastructure and gives you an initial limit of 1 per system. That does mean the limit will be going higher the longer we play. You can increase it by getting the Mega Engineering technology. That increases your Deep Space Citadel system capacity. The Starlit Citadel Origin gives you more capacity, and now the Eternal Vigilance Ascension perk gives you even more. So I'm guessing with the Origin, Mega Engineering, the Deep Space Citadel technology, and Eternal Vigilance, you're looking at 4 Citadels in a single system, but maybe it could be higher again. And before you start shouting about not being able to design starbases, you don't have to worry. When you select to build a deep space citadel, it then opens up another menu allowing you to select the design you want from designs you have already created in the ship design window. Once a deep space citadel design has been selected, you'll then be able to choose where in the system it will be placed, provided it is within the system's gravity well. This allows you to choose if you want to defend a choke point or a critical planet. You cannot actually build the Deep Space Citadel on top of a planet or a star, but you can build them very, very close. Here we can see the green area are areas that you can place the Citadel, and the non-green area, the regular colored area, are areas that you cannot. You can also see here we can't place the Citadel outside the gravity well, we can only put it right at the edge, but that is close enough to the hyperlane jump point that we can defend it and be fighting instantly if an enemy force arrives via hyperlane. As you upgrade your Deep Space Citadel from one stage to the next, it will gain successively more L-slot turrets, hangar bays, and defensive utilities. The final stage of the Deep Space Citadel also gains access to both a single X-slot turret and an aura slot capable of equipping auras from both Titans and Juggernauts. This means you could put on some system-wide defensive auras, granting you bonuses to ship's weapons range. I think that's probably going to be one of the most powerful ones to place here. And also things like reducing the enemy shield points, reducing their fire rate, lots and lots of powerful things we can put on these deep space citadels. It also has a special module slot in the ship designer capable of equipping most starbase auras and a few unique deep space citadel auras. So that's 2 module slots, I believe. The starbase auras may be even more powerful, especially if we're getting access to some of the auras that can be equipped by bulwarks. That could be a very, very terrifying combination. Good God, a bulwark with a bunch of deep space citadels might actually be nigh impregnable until the very late game when you got a fleet of, say, 3,000 naval capacity and you can just steamroll the damn thing. Here we actually have one of those very special, unique DSC auras targeting override. This gives a focus fire effect of plus 50%, meaning enemy ships are much more likely to target the Deep Space Citadel than they are to target your fleets, giving you in essence kind of a tank at the edge of the system to soak up enemy shots while your ships in the system can fire unimpeded. That sounds pretty cool. And then we've got some really crazy auras here. We've got the anti-polaron emitter, the micro-singularity destabilizer, the multi-target generators, and the cognition scramblers. Each of these would give a massive debuff to enemy weapons damage. 25% for energy, kinetic, explosive, and strikecraft. In the late game, once you've got repeatable technologies, this is not going to be so much of an issue, or if you've stacked up lots and lots of bonuses to your ship's weapons damage. But early on, taking this minus 25% as an enemy force, that's kind of crippling. That's basically like downgrading all of your weapons one tech level from 4 to 3, say. Here we can see the actual ship design window for a Deep Space Citadel. This is the level 1 Citadel that costs, I believe, 1,000 alloys and 2,500 unity. The cost here does look different, but in a previous slide we did see it at that slightly higher cost. Maybe they've got some discounts at the moment that is reducing the cost of it. I'm guessing it's probably the unyielding tradition halving the cost of placing one of these bad boys. So the level 1 has 3 large slots, 3 hangars, and then a total of 9 point defense weapons. That sounds pretty darn good. In terms of hull points, armor, and shielding, this ship seems to have basically the kind of hull points of around 6 or 7 battleships worth of ships. We've got 20,000 hull points, 16,000 armor and shields. So it's not that strong, though this is only the stage 1 Deep Space Citadel. I would prefer to see slightly higher numbers there if it's going to have any chance of surviving against a large fleet coming in to kill it. Needless to say though, the ability to actually design our own starbases, our own defensive structures, is amazing. I guess we probably can build defensive platforms as well to attach to this Deep Space Citadel, so it having low hull points and armor isn't necessarily the end of the world if we can surround it with a swarm, and I do mean an absolute swarm, of defensive platforms. And if you're enjoying this video, please fortify that like button. Level 2 basically doubles the number of large slots and hangars and defensive modules. This then has double the hull points and armor of the previous tier, level 1, and it's got quite a bit more of a punch. The final level doesn't add any more L slots, it seems. It adds a few more hangars and then 1 X slot weapon. You're going to get more defenses again, this one going up to 80,000 hull points in total, which is very strong. That's quite a lot of hull. This is going to be a bit more expensive. I'm guessing we're looking here, if there are discounts applied, at 7,000 alloys maybe, if you don't have a 50% discount, and quite a lot of unity. 10,000 unity for this high-level Deep Space Citadel. Something that Alfred is noting here, each time you upgrade or downgrade a Deep Space Citadel, you will have an individually designable thing, and that will be saved as its own design. So when you do upgrade or downgrade, you will always be prompted to select the design of Deep Space Citadel you want to have. So this thing is a fully customizable defensive structure. Wow. Don't forget, if you'd like to pick up Stellaris Season 9, pre-order Biogenesis, or buy absolutely anything from Paradox and support this channel, you can do so by following the link down in the description below, or going straight to the Paradox store and using our affiliate code MONTUPLAYS to also support this channel with your purchase. Let's now take a look at the brand new Origin Starlit Citadel, which starts you off with one of these Deep Space Citadels. Some empires are born into prosperity, others arise under siege. This really does remind me of, like, some men aren't born great, they have greatness thrust upon them. CG English is here to tell us all about it. So, they're reporting from far beyond the walls to bring you a closer look at the Starlit Citadel Origin the latest offering for those who prefer their game with a little bit of defiance and a whole lot of fortification. This is, I believe, the turtling origin, and that's why we've got kind of a turtle-looking alien here, which is shelled. Yes, it's a shelled turtle-looking alien. That almost is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, except for the weird head thing going on. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, nothing says welcome to the neighborhood like a massive orbital fortress. Long before their species turned its eyes to the stars, a mysterious wormhole lingered on the edge of their home system. From its depths came wave upon wave of aggressors in biological ships. Entire cities were flattened before the invaders were defeated. Then they returned, again and again. Faced with extinction, these beleaguered people placed their hope in the Deep Space Citadel, a towering bulwark bristling with defensive armaments, constructed not at the heart of their system, but precisely where the invaders emerged, at the wormhole. Now, important to note here, that is a very strong defensive structure to have right at the start of the game. 3,000 fleet power worth of a starbase in your home system is very, very good. However, if it's at the edge of the system, it may be possible to bypass this defensive structure if you're fighting against another alien race. That is when you might want to be building a second defensive citadel, because if you've got the technology and the origin, I would assume your limit here is starting at 2, so you could build a second one. And I just need to read you the caption for this photo, because it's honestly great. Hi there, I'll be your turret-encrusted server today. May I recommend the Mass Driver, served with a large side of point defense flak. Empires with this origin begin the game with a fully operational Stage 1 Deep Space Citadel positioned at the Breach. Their homeworld also features a unique building, the Citadel Uplink, which coordinates the Empire's defensive efforts. This building supports a rare specialist role, the Skywatchers. This is linked to the Citadel through advanced communication arrays and strategic uplinks. I'm assuming there's an Ansible involved. The Skywatchers provide a potent array of bonuses, including, but not limited to, planetary stability, bonus naval capacity across the Empire, and spawning additional defensive armies. Perhaps most significantly, their efforts amplify the effectiveness of all deep space citadels, starbases, and defensive stations within the system. So this makes defending even better. This planet unique, but I'm not sure we may be able to build another one on other planets. It's quite a good building though. I'm seeing here, I think it's also providing some additional damage output plus 10%. That is probably just for your star bases, deep space citadels, and defensive platforms though. Your homeworld, though probably rich in history, bears the scars of conflict. Marring the surface are the blasted remains of the last wave of invading bioships. These biological ship remains do give you some nasty debuffs. You're losing habitability, happiness, and of course it's a tile blocker, so you are losing maximum district counts. It's going to cost you some energy to remove this, and then you're going to get some population when you do. I think that's a really good thing to remove almost straight away. This origin also introduces a unique dynamic for multiplayer campaigns. If multiple players choose to be a Starlit Citadel Empire, each will begin with their own perilous portal and their own deep space citadel. As the campaign unfolds, these enigmatic wormholes will be revealed to be more than isolated anomalies. Like spokes on a terrible wheel, they all lead to a single central hub. Who are these guys, and why are they so deeply unchill? This origin invites players not only to withstand these threats, but also to uncover their source. Whichever empire reaches the hub first will face the full force of the invaders. However, if you prevail, you'll have the chance to fortify this keystone system and reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Choose this origin if you enjoy a playstyle centered on defense, a narrative-driven mystery, and just a hint of betrayal amongst friends. Overall, I'm really excited not only about the origin and the Deep Space Citadel itself, but finally getting the ability to design starbases and place them wherever we want as defensive structures. I really hope they add in the old component. It was like an FTL grabber that meant if anyone jumped to a system, instead of landing at the edge of the system, they'd be sucked into that starbase and land on that defensive structure. adding in a ring of other deep space citadels around this centerpiece could allow you to have a kind of a tiered defensive system that can withstand pretty much any assault because you're pulling enemy ships out of position. Very, very exciting stuff, if I do say so myself. The dev diary also contains quite a wealth of sketches in terms of initial concept design and artwork and iterations for the Starbase, the Starlit Citadels, and basically how Lloyd, the concept artist, got there, what they did over time. These are the images you're seeing on your screen at the moment. I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm not going to go through the text here. If you'd like to read more about the concept art background and kind of the vision, the artistic vision that they were going for, check out the link down in the description. I've got the dev diary link down there. You can always go and look. If you enjoyed this video on the Starlit Citadel origin and the brand new megastructure Deep Space Citadel, you might want to find out a little more about the new traits and the new biological origin coming with Stellaris Biogenesis. To do that, click the video on screen now.